Welcome to the flagship series on Stjernholm Reviews. This is the Denon DCD-S1, the legendary player from Denon's mythical S-series of the 1990s. It's a real unicorn. In this video, you'll learn why this machine is so highly sought after.
Your sound, your music, your planet.
Rise! The anticipation when the needle gently touches the black surface of a LP, like the blissful hush of an audience before a performance begins. With the rise of the digital age, such moments were sacrificed for speed and convenience. Gone were the covers, the smell, the struggle. And as music became more accessible, it somehow lost some of its magic too, right? Much like my Sunday vinyl sessions, the CD to me also has that sense of occasion. With streaming, you're no longer flipping through golden favorites, but instead you're panning for gold in a raging river of, let's be honest, utter poo for most part. With 100,000 new tracks every day being released on streaming. And that was in 2024, 200 million. It's staggering. Half of those tracks were played less than 10 times in 2024. 180 million of those tracks did not even get 1,000 plays. That's the amount of poo you're being dragged through when you enter the streaming services. And the sound, even though services like Tidal and Qobuz has come a really long way, they still weigh themselves against the uncompressed PCM audio of the shiny little CD, a format that was introduced back in 1982. These shiny discs, capable of holding 80 minutes of stereo magic, has proven remarkably resilient. While remasters flood streaming platforms, the original CD releases now hold more and more unexpected value for audiophile seeking that authentic sound. Mark my words, my audiophile brethren, the original releases of your favorite stuff are definitely keepers. For example, I recently compared versions of Peter Gabriel's Soul album during a recorded listening session with Silverback team member Tim Harris. That was the remaster. This is the original CD.
Okay.
From the 80s. You hear the difference?
Yeah.
You can access these sessions and support our charity work by becoming a Patreon member. Check it out and join the inner circle. From the moment you load a disc, it's clear that this is no ordinary machine. The sound from its analog outputs are vivid. You hear it right away, and the top-loading mechanism there glides effortlessly in silence. And even after 3 decades, the build just feels totally bulletproof. The 1990s were the golden age of hi-fi's flagship wars. Japanese manufacturers were locked in an arms race to out-engineer and out-awesome each other, with no regard for budget, just engineering glory. Denon responded the challenge with the one-off S-series, a collection of masterpieces designed to be the pinnacle of audio engineering. To be honest, question is if they have ever since done something on that level. The S-series consisted of the DCD-S1 here, our top-loading hero CD player today, built for absolute precision. Then there was the PRA-S1 preamplifier, dedicated to purity and minimalism. And the mighty POA-S1 monoblock power amplifiers were delivering raw power with vanishing distortion, just built like tanks. And later, the PMA-S1 integrated amplifier, offering a taste of the S-series philosophy in a more compact format. Even the spin-off S10 series that followed were crafted to higher standards than most of Denon's later offerings. The S-series simply remains Denon's magnum opus. The DCD-S1, released in 1994, it's a top-loading CD player with a sandcast aluminum chassis for vibration suppression and a heavy stabilizer clamp. Its alpha processor aimed to recreate waveforms closer to the analog sound, pushing the limits of CD playback. With a price tag of 500,000 Japanese yen at the time, roughly $11,000 in today's money, this was an audiophile indulgence. Reviewers hailed it as the ultimate CD player, and today it remains highly sought after, if you can find one at all. Takashi Arai, the visionary engineer behind the S-Series, designed it as a reference standard with focus on pure musical fidelity. The DCD-S1 has independent power supplies for analog and digital stages, a fully dual mono architecture, and a triple-point floating suspension for the custom-built transport. It is, in lack of a better word, hi-fi pornography. Today, the S-Series commands serious respect. A clean set of PoA S1 monoblocks could easily fetch $25,000. The DCD S1 here itself sells for up to $5,000 if you're lucky enough to even spot one. These machines are highly collectible. They are also sonic relics from a time where audio engineers was giving a mandate to chase absolute perfection. Denon went even further. Above this player sits the ultra-rare DP-S1 transport and DA-S1 DAC combo, splitting the transport and conversion duties into two heavyweight masterpieces. But that's a story for another day, maybe. The DCD-S1 is proof that, even in the face of today's streaming revolution, there are levels of analog sweetness and musicality that mass-market gear just can't touch. For collectors and serious listeners, the S-Series is more than a product line. It's the embodiment of what high-end audio was meant to be. And from a time where there was more scale to the production, and that would result in a price-quality balance not seen today in exotic audio. So what do you think? Hit the comments and share your experiences and thoughts. You can also join us for exclusive content. You'll find everything Stjernholm reviews on the Linktree. That's the first link you find down there in the description.
One small step for man.
Using the DCD-S1 is pure satisfaction. The heavy CD clamp, it just adds that sense of ceremony to each session, and the tactile smoothness of the controls just screams non-compromise engineering. But then, the remote. A standard plastic Denon clicker from the late 80s, dressed in a matching champagne gold, yet utterly mismatched against the masterpiece it controls. Why Denon cut corners here is just anyone's guess. Now to the celebratory Easter egg and outro song for the attentive Easter egg hunter. And remember, there's only one truth, and that is revealed when you
just listen.
You know how to what we do.
This is how we do.
No one could do it how we do it, showing and proving my crew's the greatest.
This is how we do.
No one could do it how we do it, showing and proving my crew's the greatest.
This is how we do.
Where my crew at? Who that? Majors. But you already knew that.
This is how we do.
Remember this forever.
No one can do it better.